Okay, it's 6:20 on Sunday, the 18th of September. First of all, I hope you've all had a good weekend. I just got back from scuba diving in St Abbs. Anyone who has scuba dived in Scotland, you'll know that the dry suits, they keep you relatively warm, but when your dry suit is leaking, it is one cold ass activity. And of course, this weekend, my dry suit was leaking. Okay, so let's have a look at the Ftse for the coming week. So, okay, we're basically in a slight area of, I guess you'd call it congestion and uncertainty. So the market is clearly still positive after such a very, very strong run-up. We've made a double top right here, which has came down. It's not made much ground on the double top as yet, and the reason for that is we are in an area right here which is quite key support. So you could say it's just a tiny little bit higher to take into account the lows that we've been having over the last few days. Basically, the markets came down into these levels of support. You can see it's bounced slightly. Really, below these levels, there's a fair amount more to come off of the Ftse. You know, really, you're coming down into these sort of levels down here, which is really 6,500. You know, if we do start breaking through these levels, you've got another 100 points going to come off the Ftse. But as yet, these levels are holding. So going into next week, still very key levels. If we do see pullbacks once again, they are still good to look for long positions, buy positions in the Ftse. Now, as we're coming back up, we have an area right here which is going to act as resistance. What happens is when you make a double top like this, very, very frequently, very often, the center pivot of this double top, so this area right here, acts as resistance. Now, in downtrending markets, if you look onto charts on downtrending markets, what you'll see is when you make a double top like this and the market falls down, you have quite a sell-off. As the market rallies back up, very often it will be this center pivot where the downward momentum starts once again. We've not really had a very strong sell-off in the Ftse, and we are overall positive after this very, very strong run-up. We've had a couple of minor pullbacks and we've bounced once again. But this is going to be a level of resistance, and that's why we've seen the Ftse doing this, chopping sideways as it has been. Likely next week we're going to get up into the 6,800, well, 66, 7, 80 we will very likely see, and 6,800 at a minimum. And then up there I'll be watching the market to see how it begins to react. After that, we can see where the market, it's clearly going to be where the double top is. These are very, very strong levels of resistance now to watch in the Ftse, and if we start breaking through these levels strongly, the Ftse is going to make a run up into these levels at a minimum, 7,100. Oops. 7,050 to 7,100, and it's very likely we're going to see the Ftse attempt to make a new high. These are all the key levels. You can see we've got very or fairly tightly squeezed key levels now in the Ftse, both moving upwards and coming downward. These are the main areas that I'll be watching on the Ftse. These are the sort of areas I'll be watching for clues as to what the market is going to do next. Right now, we've bounced off this level right here. We're coming up into the resistance area. So what does it mean? I'm just going to be watching here to see how the market reacts, for clues to see if we're going to break through and make a run at the 6,900 level, or if we're going to start rejecting and come back down again and test these levels right here. And when you are in tight areas like this is what it's all about. Each day you're just looking at the market, looking for little clues, what the price action is telling you, what the previous day's price action has told you in regards to what the market is likely to do next. If we just quickly go on to this 4-hour time frame, just let it load up. I'm just going to roughly draw in the top of the sloping support line that I've identified in the past, right here. False break right here. Another false break right here. You can see the false break pushed up, came into these key levels right here. You can see the reactions back here. And then we've broken out here once again. The market has came back down and tested sloping support. This is what I was watching last week. It was actually on the Friday with subscribers. We're watching for reactions right here. We've got these reactions now, and the market has started to push up. Next area this market is very likely to visit is here. With a breakout of the sloping support line like this and a retest, it is very likely we're going to see bulls stepping into this market early next week. Okay, guys, so that's the main areas that I am watching going into next week. And basically, you can see we've had the congestion here. Last time this market was down here, we've had the market going nowhere for 1, 2, 3, 4, really 4 days, 5 days, whilst it's been in these areas. So starting next week, we're just watching to see if we can start to break through these levels. If we do, it's very likely we're heading up to 6,900. If we can get through this strong level of support, we are coming down to 6,500 down to 6,490 at a minimum. Okay, guys, hopefully that was helpful. I hope you all have a good trading week next week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.